Chad, I just haven't heard.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll call the October 6th meeting of the Common Council to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Councillor Olson.
Here.
Councillor Fennessy.
Here.
Councillor Bender is excused. Councillor Sweeney.
Here.
Councillor McDonald. Councillor Garfield.
Here.
Councillor Finsland.
Here.
Councillor Herrick.
Here.
Councillor Dennis Dahlbeck.
Here.
And Councillor Esther Dahlbeck.
Here.
For the proclamations, I'd like to issue a proclamation to Catherine Beatty on behalf of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Catherine asked that we once again honor and recognize the anniversary of the Daughters of the American Revolution Day. And what I have before you is a proclamation. Whereas Sunday, October 11th, 2015 marks the 125th anniversary of the founding of the National Society of Daughters of the American Revolution to honor the memory and the spirit of the men and women who achieved American independence. And whereas nearly 1 million members have since fulfilled this vibrant service organization's mission to promote historic preservation, education, and patriotism, and whereas the Daughters of the American Revolution are celebrating both their founding and their future by providing 10 million hours of service to America. And whereas the Wisconsin Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution was founded in 1892 to complete this important service work on the local level, and whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this vital organization and its memorable anniversary, now therefore I, Bruce C. Hagan, Mayor of the City of Superior, do hereby proclaim Sunday, October 11th, 2015 as Daughters of the American Revolution Day. I want to thank you, Catherine, for coming forward. Thank you. Thank you.
Item number 4 is approval of the minutes from the September 15th regular council meeting.
Heard the motion and second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried.
Item 6 is the consent agenda. I have a couple of things here that I need to clarify. Under item 6.12, miscellaneous licenses, Walmart did not apply for a secondhand article dealer. We can strike that off as amended. Item 6.14, the Class B liquor and beer license for Norms moving to 1517 North 3rd Street. We've been contacted by the property owner at 1715 North 3rd Street, Cedar Lounge, and that their deal has fallen through. So that just needs to receive and file, so if it could be separated out. And Councillor Olson is requesting item 6.16, which is the Class B liquor and beer license for Super One Liquor LLC, be separated out for discussion.
Can I also request that 613 be separated out for discussion?
6.13, okay.
You have before you the consent agenda. Heard the motion and second to modify or to accept the consent agenda as modified. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Item 6.13 is to approve a Class A liquor cedar-only license by Walmart stores, 3705 Tower Avenue, for the remainder of the license period.
Counselor Garfield?
Right, I was curious why Walmart is requesting to expand their alcohol sales at this time,
The
relating
state
to cider specifically.
The state of Wisconsin changed the alcohol laws to allow applicants that have a Class B beer license to also apply for a Class A liquor cider only, which is your cider beers and cider drinks. You cannot deny it by state law, and we cannot charge for it, but they need to apply for it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So what is the pleasure with? Heard the motion and second to approve 6.13. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Item 6.14 is the Class B liquor and beer license from Norms to 1715 North Church Street. This is the one that I just need to receive and file on.
Receive and file. Second.
For the motion to receive and file, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried.
6.15 is to approval to renew the application for a 6-month Class B liquor and beer license by Superior Curling Club.
That's been
Oh,
approved.
I'm sorry. Item 6.16 is to approve the application for a Class B liquor and beer license by Super One Liquor LLC, 2202 East 2nd Street, Tyree Jean Johnson, agent, for December 1st, 2015 through June 30th, 2016.
Second.
For the motion and second, Counselor Garfield?
I would like to make a motion to table, but
I'm sorry?
I would like to make a motion to table it, but I suppose if there's already a motion on the floor.
There are some people signed up to speak, too.
Counselor Herrick?
Yeah, I'm just abstaining from any type of order discussion at this time.
Counselor McDonald?
I am too, abstaining from any of the discussion and voting.
There's a motion and second on the floor to approve. There's a motion without a second to, what was the motion? To table it. We'll take the motion.
I'm requesting to table it so that I can have, a lot of people have been requesting to speak with me regarding this issue lately, and I would like to take another 2 weeks to fully iron out this issue before I make a decision on how I want to vote on this.
I'll second that motion.
So second, motion and second to table. We'll take the motion and second to table first. All in favor?
Aye.
Please call the roll.
Okay, the motion is, and the second is to table Class B liquor and beer license from Super One Liquor. Counselor Olson?
Yes.
Counselor Fennessy?
I'm going to vote no based on all the previous information we've had on this. I think we could make a decision tonight, so I'll vote no on tabling.
Counselor Sweeney?
No.
Counselor McDonald is abstaining. Counselor Garfield?
Yes.
Counselor Finsland?
No.
Counselor Herrick is abstaining. Counselor Dennis Dahlbeck?
No, I agree. I think this thing has been passed over 3 times now. It's time we make a decision on it rather than postpone it. I think it's our obligation as a council not to take sides on businesses coming in. It would be the same thing if we had. It would be the same thing as if we were going against Quick Trip coming in. I think every liquor store in town started out as a bar. And they've all changed their business plans, and I believe that's all this business is doing is modifying their original business plan. And I think it's our responsibility to assist them in their endeavor.
Counselor Esther Dahlbeck?
I agree, no.
Motion fails for want of majority.
The motion to approve is back on the floor.
There's a motion and second
Will
to,
we have some discussion?
I'm sorry, to approve, and there are people who would like to speak on this topic. The first one is Steve Ledeen, 1109 Tower Avenue.
I'll just remind the speakers as they approach the podium that we'll hold to a 3-minute maximum unless the council gives you the green light to take more time.
Thank you, folks. My name is Steve Liddy, and I'm with the
Office of Macula Dean Vic and Olson here in Superior. I'm here representing Jim and Carol Bolin, friends and neighbors of mine. I'd like to call your attention to a few points in this matter. Most of you have heard this and gone through this already. You've already decided the issue. We were here in August of last year. I don't think you need to review your decisions every year. I think Super One should direct their efforts in a different direction, and we would really be tied up if you did review your decisions every year. Secondly, the minutes from last year's meeting state that Walter Hagen, who's also present and I believe signed up to speak, traded his property to Super One in return for the promise not to open a bar. Mayor Hagan made his statements on at the last meeting, stating there were two things agreed upon in the Super One project. One was there was no intention to have a tavern or liquor store. Secondly, the alley would be widened to allow for more East End businesses to have parking. The alley was not widened, and Super One has applied for a liquor license for a second time. Mayor Hagan stated, and some councilors agreed, that the promises should be kept. And that's not to be minimized again just because it's brought up every year. Thirdly, apparently the distinction for the reapplication is the closing of the office bar. Availability of a license was never the issue. There's always been a license available. The fact is the office bar is closing, as I understand it, and it's not because it was making money hand over fist. The pie is only so big, and if it's not sufficient to keep one of the existing businesses open, why should the councilors make it harder for the entities that have had long-standing business relationships to stay open? There's no benefit or need by the public for a bar attached to the grocery store. No public benefit in issuing a new license. I ask that the council vote no.
My name is Walter Hagen, and I am the owner of Pudge's Bar in East End of Superior. And the agreement that when we had traded the land with Super One, the deal was brokered by Brian Porcier, and so both my wife and I had checked just to make sure that if we were going to be benefiting Super One with this land, which I would rather have kept anyway and expanded my garages, but that we wouldn't be turning over land to have a bar and liquor store, and we were told that they had no intention of doing that, and also at the meetings, the informational meetings we had with the East End business people and Super One's representatives had stated a number of times that there was no intention of having a bar or liquor store. Otherwise, I would never have traded the land. And to say that it's just a change in a business plan is kind of a poor excuse, I think. That when you make an agreement with somebody, and if it's verbal or written, when the number of properties I've bought, we've done it all in a handshake, and it's always been a person's word, and so I just figured that it was their word would be sufficient, and so, but I can see that hasn't worked out too well, and so I just don't understand, and I can't understand why some of the city council people would vote for this liquor store knowing, and it's not just hearsay, that they had made this agreement. And I think that a person's word is quite important, that when they state something, that they stick by it and not just say it's a change in business plans, because that's, I think, a very poor excuse. So for that reason, I feel that it wouldn't be fair for the city council to approve a liquor license for them. So, thank you.
Mr. Markovich?
Hard for a lawyer to confine himself to 3 minutes. We'll see how I do. There's a couple of things that I need to say about this application based on what the other speakers have said. First of all, those of you who were here at the last time this license was considered in August of last year recall that there was other objectors, the Keyport Lounge and the Belknap Lounge people who are no longer here objecting. With regard to Mr. Hagen's promise that they would never put a liquor store in that building, that's not true. What was told him was that they had no immediate plans to put in a liquor store at that time. They did, in fact, build the property so that it would accommodate a liquor store at some point in time, and the plan was long-term that they would. They did adhere to the promise not to do it. It's been over a year. That property's standing vacant. They're paying taxes on it, heating it, taking care of it, and it's non-productive property. Not a good business plan. The argument that was made at the last meeting was that we have too many liquor licenses already, although 2 months later this council granted another liquor license after stating that we already had too many licenses. So it's a little disingenuous to argue that we don't need any more liquor licenses. I guess the point of the matter is that I've served on public bodies, elected bodies, and appointed bodies. We've had opportunities to give people a competitive edge by our actions, and it just is not the right thing to do. I have never served on a body who ever did anything like that, and I believe it's your obligation to not play favorites, but to permit the market to do its job. Frankly, I don't think that this liquor license, I talked to Mr. Hagen about it before the meeting, I don't think it will damage him in any way whatsoever. They're two entirely different types of operations, and they're not on the same street. They will not actually be participating in the same kind of business, and I certainly urge you to support a company who has not only invested millions of dollars in improving properties in the city, but providing good paying jobs, and I believe they need to be treated the same as anybody else in this community, and I certainly hope that you see your way clear to do that.
There's a gentleman that raised his hand back there. Did you wish to speak?
Could I just finish my 3 minutes with one little? With what Mr. Markovich had said, that when that I was never told that they were going to have a liquor store. When they brought the plan, Brian Forcier brought the plan in at the time that we had brokered this land deal, and on that plan there was, and I have that plan. There was no any spot for a liquor store. I mean, there was no talk about it. There was no saying that it was going to be just a thing that would maybe come up later, and that we might just have it later. There was no area in the store showing that there was any empty spot for a liquor store, and I specifically checked and asked him twice. And he was their representative, and he said that there wasn't any, and so I disagree with Mr. Markovich and what he had said. Thank you.
Yeah, Walter, I got a quick question. Brian Forcier, you said that he was the individual that brokered that original conversation?
For Atwater Group.
Okay, but he's not in attendance tonight to talk about his...
He doesn't work for the Atwater Group or the company anymore. He went on to other things, and he had called me back at the time of the first city council meeting when we were talking about this, and he, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said, well, he never meant to make any problems or anything, and I don't remember what he said exactly, but he was the representative. Nobody from the Super One has ever come and talked to us or bothered to come and to visit with us or explain to us what their plans were at that time. It was always, through a third party, and so that's
okay. Thanks for that clarification.
Yeah, Brian Forcier was he was a broker, just a representative,
Okay.
just to buy the land.
Okay, thanks. I just want to make a couple other comments too. There was the comment made about Super One and the bar and the impact that it'll have on the area. It's my understanding that Super One really doesn't want a bar. They're looking for a liquor license. It's this council that put the ordinance in effect that requires a bar with a liquor license. So when you talk about a bar going in, it's because this city is forcing anybody that wants to open a liquor store to put a bar in. So I think that's neither here nor there. So that's an issue that Super One has to bring to the table, whether they like it or not. We go back and we talk about the verbal agreements that were made, and unfortunately that was done with Mr. Minor, who's deceased. And the company has new leadership, new mission, like any other business. And if businesses don't look globally and look at the market competition and what's out there, if they don't make those change in business plans, they're not gonna succeed. And here's a company, Super One, putting big bucks into this community, more than I think what we really realize. And I think they're an excellent neighbor. I think they're an excellent business. And they're trying to make a go of it, and they're just trying to develop their business plan and make some changes. So we can't fault just because there was a verbal agreement. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. It's too bad that those verbal agreements didn't get written down and put in any kind of land development agreement, and then we wouldn't be having this conversation. But it never was. So here we are, and I think we need to make a decision. I just don't feel comfortable penalizing Super One for something that we approved how many times during the year, and without even a discussion. It comes to the council floor, we approve a liquor license. And now Super One wants to do one, and we drag it out. So I just encourage this council to support this. I think they're deserving of it. They've been patient. They've provided us with ample information, and I think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Mr. Anderson from Super One is here, and he has a recorded statement from Mr. Forcier that if technically he can play it, it might clear up that question about the land deal.
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you, Council. I'm Bruce Anderson with Super One. I think after the last hearing last year, I did call Brian Forcier. I relayed to him what Mr. Haugen had said, and I did that in a voicemail. And what I'm going to play for you is Mr. Forcier's return voicemail the next day.
August 19th at 12. 11 p.m.
Hi, Bruce. It's Brian Forcier. Wanted to let you know I did connect with Walt. You know, he's claiming he remembers asking me that you know, if the miners were going to do a liquor store there. I told him I don't recall any of that, and that I've never had anything to do with the liquor store if there's going to be one or not. So my role was really to get the land trade through so that we could do drive-through space on that side of the building for the pharmacy, and that's why we did what we did there, so that the loading dock could be moved. So I just told him I wanted to clear the air with him, that is not my position on this, is we never talked about if there was going to be a liquor store or not. He claims that him and his wife remember me saying something to the effect that miners weren't going to do a liquor store there, which I never said. So that's all I can tell you. We cleared the air, ended friendly on the conversation, let's connect later.
I hope that's helpful.
Thank you. Councillor Dahlbeck?
Yeah, I agree with our council president, Tom Fennessy. I think when I look at the other businesses, Walt, you started out with an apartment building, and you and Sarah decided to change your business plan and buy the bar next to it. Jim, I see you out in the audience. You started off as a bar, went to an off sale, put in a gas station, put in a car wash. You changed your business plan. This is nothing more than what Super One is doing. All they're doing is changing their business plan. If you look at the other large bottle shops in town, the Belknap, the Hammond, the Keyport, all these places started off actually small as a bar. You got O'Neill's. They started off as a small bar. Now they have a drive-up takeout. So all these places started out as a bar and expanded. They changed their business plan, whether it was going to an off sale or going to an off sale in a gas station, a car wash. Things change. Businesses change. In order for them to compete, in order for them to stay solvent, that changes have to be made. I don't care if it's a small mom and pop or it's a conglomerate corporation. You know, it has to change. And I think we owe this to Super One. They've done fantastic in this town. They have a lot of employees from this town. They've put money into this town. And for us to sit here and bicker over whether or not they should get a license or not, whether they're whatever their business plan is, that's their business. It's not this council's business. It's their business. If they pass, Terry, do they qualify for a liquor license? Is there anything that you can tell me that would say no?
No, they meet all of the qualifications and have all of the approvals.
Thank you. It's this council's responsibility to uphold that then.
Councillor Sweeney.
And not delay it.
Councillor Sweeney.
Thank you. I agree with the previous two comments. I just think this is a slippery slope to deny someone a license when, if the roles were reversed and another small owner wanted to open up a bar and Super One was here objecting to it, I would feel the same way. We can't limit these things. The market must control it. And so I just think it's a slippery slope to deny a license. Thank you.
Just
Councillor Dahlbeck.
Yeah, I just wanted to make one other point. It was mentioned the office bar couldn't make it. The office bar had a good business. The building is being condemned. That's the problem. It has nothing to do with their business or clientele.
Councillor Garfield.
Well, to get back from him, the reason I had asked for more time on this issue, I've been getting contacted a lot by various entities regarding this issue and a lot by my constituents and the public. Something certainly went on with regards to the verbal agreement that was made by Super One with local businesses. I'm not entirely certain who is portraying the accurate version of this history here, and that certainly does weigh into the ethics of this decision. I am concerned with the idea of creating a non-standard process for approving liquor licenses. I don't feel very good about that type of activity. I think if you qualify for a liquor license and if you didn't make a promise to other businesses and a type of trade that you weren't going to have a liquor store, then sure, we should approve it. I'm not yet certain what happened here, and the more information I get from more people, the more confused I get regarding this. Another reason that a reason that I wouldn't support doing this tonight, and a reason I asked to table this, I think the bigger issue here may be that we are about to force a supermarket, a grocery store, to open a bar. That's ridiculous. I mean, Superior gets a reputation for certain things. I've never been in a supermarket or a grocery store in any city that has a bar, and I'm not sure that's something that we need to be known for. I think that it would be not only pertinent but responsible to go back and table this issue for 2 weeks, to maybe make a proposal to revise that ordinance so that if we're going to have liquor stores and you know, those types of businesses like a supermarket, why do we need a bar in there? That makes no sense to me. I still have some questions. I still have some people that have requested to meet with me that I'd like to actually take the time to sit down and talk with. I'm not opposed to issuing a liquor license. It's a pretty routine activity of this body, but I'm certainly not ready to move forward with that today. There's some work that still needs to be done. Another thing I'd be willing to do is to refer this back to committee and also ask them to come forward with a proposal for changing the ordinance about having to operate a bar, because I'll say that again, I think we don't need to be known as the only city in the Midwest where a grocery store is operating a full-scale bar. Thank you.
Councilor Finsland.
Yeah, the reason we have this ordinance is because people like Jim Bowl and other liquor store owners came to me and requested this ordinance. Well, the reason we want to have bars in our grocery stores is not because we care whether Super One has one or not. It was to prevent Walmart from coming in and capturing over 30% of the off-sale liquor business. That was part of their initial business plan. And the reason we did this was these liquor store owners that were all ma and pa kind of stores, all connected to a local tavern, wanted an ordinance that would protect them from big businesses like Walmart, not from Super One. That wasn't it. So we crafted an ordinance. Frog Prell was the designer of that ordinance, and we approved it at this council. And when we approved it at this council, we said, if you comply with these rules, you can have a liquor license. Super One has agreed to jump through these hoops, and the reason we have it is because the liquor store owners themselves asked for this. And if we don't agree to have people jump through the hoops and follow our ordinance, then Walmart is going to come here and say, well, you don't even make people listen to your own ordinance. If they don't follow your own ordinance, why should we have to follow it either? And I think Mr. Garfield is wrong. I think if we have a business like Walmart come in and capture 30% or more of our off-sale liquor license business, I think it'll be a disaster for all these other liquor stores. I think by granting this license to Super One, I think we're preventing Walmart from coming in, because I don't think that company is going to want to open a tavern in Superior. That's just not their corporate image.
Thank you. Councilor Dahlbeck?
Yeah, I want to agree with Bob on this, that the only reason that bar was put in the bar, Graham, was because Walmart would have come in, not had the bar, and undercut everybody, including you, Jim, and Walt, on liquor and beer. It was done at their request. I agree. It was done at request of bar owners, and the city council went along with that. And as far as having a bar in a grocery store, you're a little young for this, Graham, but everybody remembers Jubilee. What'd you have there? The cubby hole, O'Neill's Bar. It was part of the grocery store. And if you go down to Gordon, you go to Lynx, they have the huge grocery store. They also have a huge off sale. If you go to the ICO station in Gordon, what do you have? They sell groceries. They got a full liquor store in the ICO station. So this is relatively common. You go downstate, it's all over the place. We have changed it up here because, like Bob said, we did not want the big box stores to come in and put our liquor stores, the home-owned ones, out of business. We did that as a favor, and to change it and take it off the books, you could have Walmart coming in here, and you will not be able to deny them that license. So I would suggest that we pass this tonight, and I agree. This will show Walmart that this is what you have to get if you want a liquor license, and it will keep them from ever coming here for one.
Councilor Fennessy.
Yeah, I respect Councilor Garfield's comments, but I want to also weigh in that if we want to have a conversation on the current ordinance allowing having to require a bar with a liquor store, I think that's a whole different animal. And I do not want to see Super One's liquor license being held hostage until those discussions are had. And I really don't feel it's adequate to send this back to committee because it's been there before and approved at license and fees, brought back, denied by council. And the other comments about the verbal conversations that went on, who said what. Unfortunately, the individuals that were party to that, some of them are no longer here. And so I think we would spend years trying to resurrect that. And so I don't know if we should really bring in the verbal conversations of what was actually said, because they weren't in writing. And so I just strongly encourage that we pass this now and move on and revise any ordinances that have to be revised at another time, so we don't deal with this again.
I concur with our council president.
Councilor Olson.
Just a few comments. First, the discussion that we're having here on the floor was probably a good reason to send it back to a committee so we don't get into dialogue amongst each other over an issue at hand in front of us. I got a couple questions for somebody at Super One, Toby, Mr. Anderson, whoever. On the permit that you have applied for again, is there anything different on that permit from August of 2014?
Councilor Olson, it's Bruce Anderson with Miners. The only change I think that you would see in the application would be on the drawing. There was fewer seats. It was reduced. I think there was 49 seats at first application. This time the seating has been reduced by about a third, I'd guess, maybe a little bit more.
So, yeah, the other issues, the cigarette and tobacco is the same.
That's the same.
Class B liquor is the same. Health inspection fee, publication fee, those are all the same that were a year ago?
They are.
Has Super One made any attempts at any of the agreements that were discussed a year ago with the parking facilities in relation to Mr. Hagen's property? We had discussed before, and you were a part of it, that originally there was going to be widened alleys, and
I can address that. Unfortunately, the mayor communicated to us what he wanted to see happen. I think we understood it, the mayor understood it. When it got to the design phase, the ball got dropped. Now, we'll take, the senior management at Miners will take partial responsibility for that. There was, however, one of the city engineers was involved in that process too. So it sort of flows both ways. But what ended up happening back there, if any of you paid any attention to what was going on when that store was being built, there was huge stormwater retention system underneath that big store. There are two, I think they're 36-inch, basically conduits behind the store. That's what happened to that. When you see the swale, that's for stormwater drainage. That whole parking lot out there retains water, and I'm sure you've seen those sorts of systems before. But that's the way they were put together. So what ended up happening was, I guess it sort of got lost in the shuffle, and we feel bad about that. It wasn't supposed to work that way, but it did. I mean, that's how it ended up getting constructed. It's a huge project. We got somewhere north of $12 million into this thing, and it's the way it came out. As long as I'm here, I should let you ask the questions.
No, that's fine. Go ahead. I do have a couple more questions for you.
Because I was involved in this from the beginning.
Yep.
Okay. There was a change of direction here, a change of direction that I didn't know about. Okay. We didn't anticipate it, and it did come along. When we made commitments, we follow commitments. We had the store on 5th Street. Eileen Pointer owned that store. We paid her right to the last day. She was happy with that. She came back to me and said, Bruce, there's some things you left in the store I want to get fixed. We said, sure, Eileen, we'll come back and we'll do that. We did it. When we shut down Belknap, Alan Jockus says, what's going to happen to me? We're paying Alan Jockus under the lease. We're paying him his rent every month. We're paying our percentage of the CAM charge every month, and Ms. McDonald can probably confirm that. So when we make a deal that we understand to be a deal, we follow that. That's what we do. We didn't anticipate that this was going to happen when we were building this project. Remember that we were over 5 years into this thing. This started back in 2010. The mayor was of great assistance with one of the property owners to help us get this project put together. When we traded land with the Haugans, no, there was no discussion about a liquor store. They asked. We didn't anticipate, at that point, we didn't anticipate there was going to be one. Then if this council will remember, you did ask back in 2010, Councilor Olson, because I listened to the minutes, you asked our architect what was going to happen on the north side of the store. There was rental space up there. And our architect said that that was a sundry rental, and he ticked off 2 or 3 items, a pharmacy, whatever. And you said a liquor store, and he said could be undesignated at this point.
He said not at this time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he said it was undesignated. So there was, or
Okay.
whatever.
So, first of all, just for clarification, I'm not looking to point the blame at minors or the city engineer or anything like that. These things happen. My question in the whole thing is you've applied for a liquor license that was denied last year. You've done nothing to change anything to it other than in this discussion that I had yesterday that the timing is right because there's a new counselor on this council.
Well, Councilor Olson, I think Mr. Markovich explained that to you last August in our denial. It said the council, some members of the council believed that there was already enough Class B liquor licenses in Superior. And then
I'm not concerned about the number of Class B liquor licenses.
I understand. You understand. You're asking why are we back? That's what you're asking me. And the answer is then 2 months later, the council's issuing a brand new Class B liquor license. So apparently they're available.
So the discussion that was on the floor a little earlier was exactly that some counselors aren't here anymore. There's new ones. There's one new one. And in my discussion, it was a timing thing that there's a new counselor on the floor. My comment is, have you made any changes at all other than smaller seating arrangements for this liquor license that was denied?
That's what we did. So.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to remind the people that this council voted in favor of the liquor license last time it came here. It's just that we did not have sufficient number because 2 members abstained and we had some absences. If we had not had that, we probably would have passed it at the time. But the majority vote was in favor. It was not a denial. It was just a lack of majority that caused it not to pass.
Any further discussion?
Could I make one more comment?
Yes, yes.
It seems to be brought up all the time that this was a verbal. I hear that it's too bad that it wasn't in writing, and everything, and it's just like a person's word, a verbal or handshake or written, to me has always been the same, and the recording from Mr. Forcier was, I remember my wife and I talking to him, and then the plan that he had brought us, it didn't show anything, and it seems to be that he seemed to have a short memory on that, and so it's just, I guess it all comes down to it when a person makes an agreement, and there's a lot of times when I've made an agreement with somebody, and then I get thinking about it. I've already made the agreement, and so, but I stick by it. And even if it's something that I think, well, geez, I shouldn't have really done that, And so then I still stick by that because it's your word, and your word is worth everything. And that's all you have in life, is your word. And so that's my problem with this.
is just, it's just that, it's kind of like, well, it's like that one, I think it was one movie about, it's called Say Anything or something. It's kind of like, well, we'll just tell them that we're not going to do this, and then we'll say, well, we had a business plan change, Well, that's a poor excuse just to say, well, we changed our business plan, and I mean, anybody could say that about any agreement that they make. Well, I just changed my business plan, and so anyway, that's my comments.
I'd like to call the question.
Pardon me.
Just a procedural matter.
Oh,
He's
sure.
not calling you back to it.
I would like to call the question to the vote.
Please call the roll.
Well,
Go ahead.
so this is one of those instances, one of those rare instances where if you're voting no, you should articulate the reasons that you're voting no. The denial of a license, such as a liquor license, can be challenged in the court system, and it's not much of a threshold to survive such a challenge. Your decision, though, can't be arbitrary or capricious. What those words mean is it can't be without thought. It can't be based on a personal whim. It can't be random. So I know it's unusual. We'll have a multi-million-dollar budget before you in a few minutes, and if you all want to say no to that budget, you won't have to explain yourselves at all. So I know this is unusual, but if you are inclined to vote no to the issuance of this liquor license, the record that you make for your reasons is going to be made tonight, and that would be all I would have as a response to anything that would develop later by way of a challenge. Thanks.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
I'm missing my little cheat sheet that shows who we start the roll call with. That's why I started with Councilor Olson on the last one, so I'm going to start with Councilor Fennessy.
Okay, and I encourage all the councilors to use their microphones as they vote. I am going to vote yes.
Councilor Bender is excused. Councilor Sweeney.
I will also vote yes.
Councilor McDonald is abstaining. Councilor Garfield.
I will vote no, and I'll go on the record that I'm not prepared to make a yes vote at this time due to the fact that I have too many constituents asking questions about this still, and I wanted it tabled.
Councilor Finsland.
Yes, because I think if we don't vote yes, if we don't approve this, we will have give Walmart every good reason to challenge us on their liquor license application when they decide that their turn has come.
Councilor Harris is abstaining. Councilor Dennis Dahlbeck.
Yes, I think that Walmart, I agree, will be here if we don't assert this, and I believe that we got to do the right thing tonight.
Councilor Esther Dahlbeck.
Yes, because I do believe it is the right thing to do. Thank you.
Councilor Olson.
No, due to the fact that the same application for license that was submitted a year ago has not changed other than the seating arrangements, and in my opinion, there was no good faith efforts in sticking to agreements or I don't want to say promises, but this council voted this down last time because of it did not pass because of a lack of majority. Therefore, it did not pass.
The roll call is 5-2. The vote fails.
Thank you, everyone, for participating.
Item 7 is business by department heads. Finance Director Vito is requesting to take item 7.2 before item 7.1. If we could have a motion to do that, please.
Sorry, second? You've heard the motion and second to take 7.2 be prior to 7.1. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Counselor Sweeney.
Yes, thank you. I would like to offer an amendment to the general fund for 2016. I would like to cut the expenditures by 1%, exclusive of the debt service. I would want management to make the decision upon the cuts, not the council. Give them broad latitude to make the decision. And I would like this to be returned by management first meeting of either, I think it's November 3rd or the first meeting date. My purposes for doing this are 3 or 4. First of all, other than 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, we're in deficit spending. We have some rather huge negative balances coming up for those 4 years. And I think the plan ahead to be proactive in this is the right thing to do. To cut 1% for a number of years is far easier than having to cut 4 to 7% in 1 year. So for those reasons, I would like to offer this amendment. Thank you.
I'd second it.
Heard a motion and second to cut 1% out of the general operating budget expenditures exclusive of the debt service. Discussion?
Jack, what meeting would you like that brought back to? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I'm sorry.
What was the meeting you wanted it brought back to?
Well, the first meeting in November.
Okay.
There's an election, so I don't know if it's that.
No, we don't have an election in
okay.
November.
Okay, then it'd be, I think it's November the 3rd.
Yes.
Councilor Olson.
With that motion and second, what is the process to arbitrarily pull something from the budget? Are we able to do that, a specific item?
Yes. Just some FYI, as you're looking at the budget tonight, to pass the budget, to pass any budget, we need 6 votes. To change anything, you need 6 votes.
Okay. With that being said, I would like to make a motion to eliminate, is that fair enough word? The clerk, typist clerk 2 position that's in the expenditures.
We have a motion and a second on the floor to deal with one item, so we will continue with that, please.
Okay.
There's a motion and second on the floor is to reduce the expenditure portion of the budget by 1%, not to include the debt service. Any discussion on that particular motion? And Councilor Garfield.
I feel that this would be a responsible move and that it will help us deal with larger shortfalls in the future.
Any further discussion?
Mayor, can I
Yeah.
just make a clarification on what I think the intent of the motion is? And Councilor Sweeney, please correct me if I'm wrong. The 1% or 1% reduction, it's going to generate about a $260,000 cut among all the departments other than debt service. And then your intent of that is to have that flow into the contingency line item of the budget to keep the bottom line expenses at the same level.
That is accurate.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that clarification. Councilor Olson?
If Gene explained to me that we can arbitrarily pull something out of that budget, why are you not allowing me to do so?
Because there's a specific motion on the floor in a second to deal with what the motion is, and we will address what you're interested in talking about after this particular motion.
Very good. Thank you.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Councilor Olson.
Just make the same motion. I make a motion to eliminate the typist clerk 2 position out of the expenditure part of the general fund operating budget.
I'll second it.
A motion and second discussion.
Can I ask for,
Can
I ask for more clarification again? Kind of the same question as last time. The dollar amount of that would be roughly $54,000. what's the intent of where that would go? Would that also go into the contingency line item, or are we
Yes.
just simply making it go away?
Making it go away.
Contingency?
Contingency.
Okay.
Discussion? Counselor Fennessy?
Yeah, I guess I'm a little concerned. Is this is a vacant position, I take it?
No, it's made.
New one.
It's what?
It's made, newly made.
And approved by HR?
No,
Not approved.
Oh, it isn't? Oh,
No.
okay. That's why I'm getting confused, because I thought we were supposed to get some of these questions and proposals in earlier, so we had some idea of what was going to be coming to the council floor. Now I'm just hearing it for the first time, so that's why I want to ask these questions.
I spoke with Finance Director Vito on this, and this was one of my suggestions that was back at the last meeting, and the conversations that we had with some emails back and forth, that I was going to bring this forward, and this is the process that I was, so it's not a surprise.
Counselor Garfield? Let me just, I put this in the budget. I'm going to tell you why, and I'm Counselor McDonald.
Well, you can finish if you want. You want me to go first?
Picture yourself going into the executive offices of XYZ company and ask, and there's a sign there to say, please ring the bell for service. Pick a company in your mind. Well, how professional is that? The people that operate in the front office, first of all, when I arrived here 5 years ago, I thought it was a disaster the way the whole place is laid out physically. And I've been around this game a long time, for almost 50 years in management. Setting that aside, we have 3 people there. One is the county, 2 is the city. One is the paralegal for the city attorney. One is the chief of staff for the mayor's office. The third one is the county employee. All 3 of them have major outside responsibilities outside the office that take them out. I'll tell you right now, when I walked in there this morning, there wasn't anybody there because they had other responsibilities, and the county is supposed to backfill. Sometimes that just does not happen. So I literally have been Felix the cat answering the bell to go out and find out who wants what from whom. This is a total unprofessional atmosphere that we have in the executive offices. I'm fine with you eliminating it, but I'm also going to be fine with people hearing that don't get the phone answered, and some of you have had that experience, and we're going to have to explain why that is, because we can't staff the executive offices. So I know it's going to get voted down. I can live with that. And I'm hoping you do too when the phone's not answered when you call. Thank you. Guster Dahlbeck, please.
Well, I just want to say that happens in every department. You can call in the morning, and I don't care whose department it is, you get the answering machine. They're not available, except the clerk's office, except that's the only office that answers their phone every single time. So it's not just your office, Mayor, it's every office in this city building.
I clearly disagree with that, but I accept it.
Try it sometime.
Call the roll.
The motion on the floor is to eliminate the clerk typist expenditure from the budget and put it in the contingency fund. Do you want a roll call vote on that?
I do.
Okay. Councillor Bender is excused. Councillor Sweeney?
A yes vote would be to eliminate, is that accurate? Oh, I'm sorry. A yes vote would be to eliminate the position? Yes.
Yeah. Councillor McDonald?
Yes.
Councillor Garfield?
Yes.
Councillor Finsland?
No.
Councillor Herrick?
Yes, but I think there's other ways we could handle that problem.
Councillor
Can you
Dennis?
explain yourself?
Well, I think I meant some of my
It's a blatant statement. Can you explain yourself?
Yeah, I think we can go after some college students to come and do some intern work here. I think we can also, just that's one reason or one area that we could do. Another area would be to maybe just rather than have an employee, because employees, once they get into a business, there's benefits involved. We could hire maybe somebody from a temporary office to do that. I think that would work too.
Counselor Dennis Dahlbeck.
I'm in favor of it. I've gone into the office just a week ago. I walked in, literally walked to the back offices. There was no one there.
That's a yes or no.
Oh, I'm in favor of it.
Are you in favor of eliminating it?
Oh, no.
No.
I'll say no. Sorry.
Counselor Esther Dahlbeck.
Yes.
Motion failed
Wait,
for
I
one.
got two more. Counselor Olson.
Yes.
Counselor Fennessy.
No.
Motion fails.
Motion failed. You have the 2016 budget before you. I'll ask for the motion.
And
For the motion and second to approve the operating budget, general fund budget for 2016. Please call the roll.
Can I make comments? There's a significant change that was received yesterday, and I feel compelled to tell the council about it. We have an increase in a revenue source that is $255,000. The recommendation that we have for you is to keep the budget as is presented to you. It's a balanced budget with the changes that have come from tonight, and our recommendation is to put the extra $255,000 into the capital improvement program. The source of this is general transportation aids, and it would be very appropriate to have that funding the general street maintenance line item in the CIP, but I wanted to bring that to your attention because $255,000 is a significant change. You have options with this that I also want to be transparent about. You could put this in the general fund and you can increase your contingency line item to match it and still have the same balanced budget. However, you'll run into problems with what's called the expenditure restraint program. Between 2015 and 2016, you can only increase the budget for this year by an estimate of 0.8%. That number is very low for two reasons. The consumer price index is only going up an estimated 0.4% for the year ending September 2015, and the growth in the community isn't what it was the year before. That's equating to about a 0.4% increase. So if you put the money in the general fund and you add it to the contingency, you'll go over the expenditure restraint program limit and we'll lose $300,000 funding from the state. The other option is to reduce the levy, and we're not recommending that. We're not recommending that for a number of reasons. If you look forward to the years 2019 and 2020, you see that we're looking at deficits that are in excess of $2 million. To cut our levy after 10, 12, 13 years of levy limits is absolutely not a recommendation that we're making. So our recommendation is to keep the budget the same, and that's why I asked that the CIP be handled after the general fund, depending upon how you vote on that, because that's an additional source of money for the CIP that I would need to then update that program on.
Thank you.
Gene, this money came in for one purpose, am I correct?
Not necessarily. They have never, although we wouldn't just take general transportation aid and say send it to the wastewater plant.
Okay, that's it, my...
They don't, when the state sends us this money, they don't say you have to spend this on your street program. But it's very logical to attach that money to a road project. And there's nothing that says you have to put all of that in your general fund. There's nothing that says you can't put the entire amount in your capital improvement program. That would cause a general fund problem, so we're not recommending that. But I've checked this out just today with Ellers, our financial advisors. They say that's absolutely a decent reason. Put it in your capital improvement program, use it for the street program there. And the reason, just in case you're wondering, that it has increased substantially for us is that the funding is based on a 6-year rolling average of what we spend on streets and roads in the community. And we have spent more in the last 6-year rolling period. And so the more we have spent there, the more their formula works to our benefit by sending more money back to us.
So if we were to spend this money, it would help us down the road.
Well, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a very good explanation. I disagree with you a little bit as to the general terminology, transportation aids, doesn't say use it for buying popcorn. Transportation aids are designed to use for the communities for transportation aid for pavement, streets. Let me give you some examples of why it would be absolutely foolish, short-sighted, political around the corner rather than long range to do something other than put it in the streets. First of all, every one of us complain about the streets in this town and wondering why a certain street can't get paved. Likewise with your constituents. But if the Department of I'll bet you this, the Department of Administration, Department of Transportation, and any one legislator sees that we're taking transportation aid and lowering our levy with it, we will probably wind up paying that back. 2 examples. Governor McCallum, the tobacco settlement, spent all of that money rather than what it was designed for to balance 1-year budget. 1 year. Rob Peter to pay Paul, only Paul was even poorer the next year. Governor Doyle took $1.5 billion out of the transportation fund for the state of Wisconsin and found that they had to pay it back to the federal government because it wasn't designed to use for balancing budgets. It was designed for transportation. So I'm encouraging and pleading with you, put it into the CIP for the purposes that the money is supposed to be used for, and that is streets. There's a motion and second on the floor. Yes, sir.
You know, and you basically said everything I was going to say, and I just want to echo what everybody's saying. You know, I think it needs to go in the CIP. I think it's financially prudent and ethical to put it in the CIP and use it towards road projects. I think all of us, all 10 of us, know the issues within our districts for roads. And I think, you know, the Public Works Department is doing a great job in trying to do what they can and keeping things maintained. This will only enhance what they're doing. I think it's perfect timing. I think that's where it belongs.
Councilor?
I'll gladly take the money for the 9th district. We need some roads repaired out there. Everybody else can do what they want.
I'm just a little confused. What budget are we passing then? Are we passing the 1%
Yes.
Reduction?
Yes, the council's already approved that.
And then, we want to move
There's a
this
motion
one.
and second on the floor to approve the budget.
Yeah, I think I worded something I said wrong. I think I said we're asking you to approve the original budget, which probably threw people off.
yeah,
Thanks
did
for
me.
clarifying.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Do you want a roll call on this also? I just need to clarify that last roll call vote to eliminate the typist clerk position. I misspoke. I said it failed. The motion to eliminate it was approved. I'm sorry. Okay, this motion is to approve the 2016 general fund operating budget. Councilor McDonald.
Councilor Herrick.
Yeah, does that include putting the extra money into the CIP then?
Yes, you already
Okay,
approved.
gotcha, good.
Councilor McDonald.
Yes.
Councilor Garfield. Yes. Councilor Finsland.
Yes.
Councilor Herrick.
Yes?
Councilor Dennis Dalbeck.
Yes.
Councilor Esther Dalbeck.
Yes.
Councilor Olson.
Yes.
Councilor Fennessy.
Yes.
Councilor Sweeney.
Yes.
Motion is
carried.
approved.
7.1.
7.1 is the capital improvement program for 2016 through 19 with proposed revisions.
Councilor Herrick.
Yeah, I'd like to refer this to the Committee of the Whole on October 20th, to have department heads give Their presentations on the proposed CIP revisions,
On the proposed what?
on the proposed CIP revisions.
There's a motion and a second on the floor to adopt. There's a motion for referral without a second. Who is the second?
Dan.
Motion and second to refer takes precedence. Please call the roll.
I'm running out. Motion is to refer the CIP to the October 20th Committee of the Whole meeting. Counselor Garfield?
Yes.
Counselor Finsland?
No.
Counselor Herrick?
Yes.
Counselor Dennis Dahlbeck?
No.
Counselor Esther Dahlbeck?
No.
Counselor Olson?
Yes.
Counselor Fennessy?
I'm going to vote no because there's been adequate information in our council packets regarding the department head's requests.
Counselor Sweeney?
No.
Counselor McDonald? Yes. 5-4, the motion fails.
Motion failed. There's a motion on the floor to adopt the CIP budget.
Mayor?
Please call the roll.
Mayor, I'm
Yes.
interrupting all night long. I have the updated version of the CIP with the new money. Can I hand that out to you so you have the updated one to approve?
Thank you, Jason.
If I could just take 1 minute, just a quick update for you to kind of explain some of this color coding here. I highlighted what the increase is with the increase in the general transportation aids, just so you can see that money flowing in as a revenue source. And then down below, almost all the way down to the bottom, the general maintenance, street maintenance program has been increased by a like amount. And that's really the update. That's the only update that I have.
So there is a motion and a second on the floor to approve the CIP. Do you need would you like a roll call on that?
Please.
Okay. I don't even know where I am. Counselor Finsland.
Yes, approved.
Counselor Herrick.
The reason why I brought this up is just because of line items, or excuse me, 2017 and 2018 for the bonding, just because there was a $5 million increase between the 2 years. So I'll vote no.
Counselor Dennis Dahlbeck.
I vote yes.
Counselor Esther Dahlbeck.
Yes.
Counselor Olson.
Yes.
Counselor Fennessy.
Yes.
Counselor Sweeney.
Yes.
Counselor McDonald.
Yes.
Counselor Garfield.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item 7.3, Finance Director Vito is recommending withdrawal from the Local Government Property Insurance Fund.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Second and motion and second to approve. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
7.4, Fire Chief Panger is advising of a grant award in the amount of $19,091 from the Federal Emergency Management Agency for the purchase of wellness equipment. The grant requires the city match the amount of 10% or $1,909.
Motion approved.
For the motion, a second to approve. Discussion?
Question.
Counselor Sweeney?
Explain to me what wellness equipment is, would you please? Is
The,
there another
uh,
term for that more easily understood?
The grant will go towards replacing our current equipment. We have some elliptical machines and treadmills.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
Thank you.
Motion on the floor, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 8.1, Mayor Hagan is recommending to reappoint Dave Stannard to the Community Development Block Grant Advisory Board, to reappoint Jim Cirilli to the Zoning Board of Appeals, and to appoint Dave Strum to the Plan Commission.
For a motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 8.2 has been withdrawn. Item 11.1 is an ordinance introduced by the city clerk amending City Code Section 46.6C, establishing Central Assembly of God as a polling place for the 1st and 3rd aldermanic districts.
Motion and second, discussion. All in favor? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
11.2 is an ordinance of the City of Superior amending Chapter 58, garbage collection and disposal fee for residential and small commercial premises.
For the motion and second, discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Business by public, item 12.1, Tony Tracy from the Douglas County Historical Society has a presentation.
Good evening, Mr. Tracy.
Good evening, and thank you for allowing me some time to come and visit. Very exciting times at the Historical Society these days. I completed my first year there in July, and we've had some great accomplishments. We've also uncovered some stuff that we need to fix. And I'm very pleased to say that we're moving completely in the right direction. I just have a PowerPoint here. I'll go through it. You guys have been diligently doing your work here, and I won't keep you. Oops, let me get this. There we go. There. This is our current staff over at Douglas County. We have Katie Montgomery, who's our curator and assistant director. Alex Heeland, who is a museum specialist and archaeologist. Kathy Loxo is still with us, directing the History Theater and events. Joe Mann is operations and maintenance. And then Jeff Massini is an admin assistant and our projectionist when we have vintage movie nights. He's the projectionist for the Laurel and Hardy Club and very astute with the 16 millimeter. And Jeff is provided for us through a placement agency in which his salary is paid by them. Also, everybody here is part-time. Katie Montgomery has a degree in history from UMD, and Alex Heeland has a history degree and an archaeology degree from UWS. These are just a few slides, just showing some of the exhibits we've been doing over the past year. We had a nice Webster Chair Factory exhibit that we did. There it is right there. We have numerous examples of Webster chairs. If any of you have any Webster chairs, they're very valuable. Not only are they a great piece and tell a lot about Superior history, back in 1932, when they went out of business due to the Depression, they were employing 500 people, and they had 900 different styles of chairs that they're putting out. And they were by far one of the biggest chair manufacturers in the United States, and provided all of the seating, 7,000 plus seating for the 1892 Republican National Convention. We just completed a baseball exhibit that we had run in conjunction with Hardball, which was a play about the life of Hank Kaner, who is a pitcher from Superior. And back in the 1920s, he was a really good pitcher, and the professional baseball leagues came looking for him. And however, he had a conflict with his Jewish faith And playing baseball on Saturdays, it just didn't work out for him. But it was a really fabulous play. We had some relatives and friends of the Kaner family that attended. It was really a nice deal. You may have seen it in the paper. This past week we had a nice headline, thanks to Shelley, about our dugout canoe. This dugout canoe has been with the Historical Society since the 40s. And there really wasn't a lot on it. And we had this summer, we had the Wisconsin Historical Society traveling exhibit make home in our facility for 2 months. And on one of the days, the state archaeologist came and took a look at that canoe and found it to be what he thought was a very authentic example and possibly one of only 8 of these canoes that are still in existence. Currently, we have just sent off a sample to beta analysis to get the carbon dating done on it and to find out exactly how old this is. Back in the 40s, in a Telegram article, it stated at that time that the people at the Historical Society believed it to be 300 years old. So everything's looking great that we're going to have a very, very unique piece here. And there it is, Superior Telegram, which it's the 125th anniversary of this year. And we'll be having a History Saturday coming October 17th over at the Historical Society featuring Shelley Nelson, who is we're going to have a History Saturday on the 125th anniversary of the Telegram, and I hope you all can make it out for that. It starts at noon. We've brought an interesting find that I have at the museum. We have some boxes downstairs that are labeled many different things, and from all the changes and moving that the Historical Society has done, a lot of times items have just been boxed up, put a label on it, and they put it on the shelf. And now we're going through everything really in close detail, and in one of the boxes was a scrapbook that was sent to us from Waconia. And in Waconia, the father of a gal that grew up in Superior started the Waconia Historical Society and had this scrapbook. And once they opened it up and looked at the scrapbook had every article clipped from the Telegram in the 1940s having to do with the Douglas County Historical Society. It's an amazing book. It's a good 3 or 4 inches thick, and it has everything that was given to the Historical Society in the 40s is there, and which has been a great tool for me because I've been going through it and comparing it to what we have and what we got, and there's been a few discrepancies, and we are digging into those right now. In fact, we're still working on one piece that turned up missing, and it's shown up again, and we're trying to get all the details worked out with Superior Police Department, which has been great. Well, actually, let me tell you about it. I'm just dying to anyway. So back in the 1940s, a returning veteran from World War II presented the museum with a Nazi officer sword and a big eagle clutching a swastika that was supposedly on Hitler's private train, and it was brought back. And through research, we verified that this artifact did exist. And well, I've never, since I got there in July of 2014, I haven't been able to find it. And I was about a month and a half ago, I was going through Craigslist. And believe it or not, under antiques, there was somebody selling this big eagle clutching a swastika for $3,200. So I got a hold of the Superior Police Department, and they went up there, and sure enough, it was it. and the guy that had it had already had a reputation of dealing in stolen goods. He was more than happy to give it up. And so we're still tracing, though. The police are still diligently working to trace it to a junker that used to work the Duluth and Superior areas, that to get it all hooked up so it all matches. But currently this emblem is sitting in our basement, locked up. But it'll be a really interesting win, and it looks like it's all going to work out that way. But that was the beauty of having this scrapbook. I would have never known that this item was given to us, and it's great. I'm going through this whole thing, and we're going to be digging through all of our boxes to make sure we have everything. And this was another example of what we have in our boxes. This is A.A. Roth's wife. I keep pronouncing his name wrong. Alois was his first name. Was that right? And his brother T.J. that ran Roth's department store. His wife collected buttons, and she had hundreds of these buttons, and they were still in great condition, and they're currently on display at the museum. They were on display back in the 40s. And there were some great display ideas that they had back in the 40s that we're going to incorporate again. It's just some great stuff that they had 10,000 people come through their door in 1940. I mean, it's amazing, and we're working hard to get back there. And here's our, it's a small version, but it's of the Roth department store we have running right now. David Berry, we had a grand opening that Mayor Hagan came to. And we had a proclamation of David F. Berry Day. We have 557 of David Berry's actual prints. David Berry was one of the first photojournalists. He was out on the prairie working with Orlando Goff, taking pictures of General Custer and the 7th Cavalry. David Berry became great friends with Sitting Bull, with Chief Gull, with Buffalo Bill Cody. In fact, Berry was very instrumental in getting Buffalo Bill to bring his Wild West show to Duluth and Superior a number of times before his death. But we're currently talking with a couple of publishing houses about putting out a coffee table book with these photographs. And not only would it just be a great if you're a Western somebody that loves Westerns. I'm failing to get the right word. But he also took great pictures of Superior. He operated a photography shop here in Superior from 1899 until his death in 1934. And it was a great coincidence. He wanted to live to be 80 years old, and on his 80th birthday in 1934, he passed away. And there's a picture of Buffalo Bill Cody and some of the Berry artifacts. Back in 1978, out at Fairlawn, there was a break-in, and many of the Berry artifacts were stolen, including a rifle that was supposedly used to shoot Sitting Bull. The FBI still has the case open, but I don't think we're going to see those things. We have History Saturdays. We had a great History Saturday with the fire department with Dave Johnson. Dave was going to do one on the 1918 fire and the help that the city of Superior gave to all the refugees, but Dave was injured and had to have surgery on his arm, so we're going to get a rain check on that. Well, we're doing a lot of different things. This was a book written by a Superior resident, Bob Abrahamson, about the Mataafa. It was called Luck of the Draw. That's the Mataafa trying to come into the canal back in 1905 when what they called the Mataafa Blow, this big storm came through. And that ship was aimed straight to go through the canal, and a big wave turned it, and it T-boned right onto the canal. We have vintage movie events there. This past Valentine's Eve, we did His Girl Friday, And for Christmas, we did March of the Wooden Soldiers. We have another one coming up here on October 29th, which we do Halloween. And we have the old monster movies that we show. And we always have the cartoons. We have the old cartoons that you're used to seeing in the theater when we were all kids. We're getting great media coverage. I thank the Telegram for covering a lot of the events that we have. It's very important for us as my biggest goal is working on our identity and getting for people to really know that the Douglas County Historical Society is at 11th and John and that we're not a part of Fairlawn. And even though that it's been so many years, there's still a lot of people that feel that Fairlawn is the Historical Society. But we're building, and we're getting a lot of attention. We're getting a lot of TV coverage. Fox 21, in fact, just this morning had our curator on talking about our History Saturdays. Whoops, go back. Well, we had our Living History Walk this past Saturday at Greenwood Cemetery, where we had actors portraying 14 ancestors of ours buried at Greenwood, such people as Senator Irving Lenroot, Charles Starkweather, Catherine Lenroot, and we had some great actors. Oh, where'd it go now? I'm so terrible with electronics. Where'd it go? This was my big finale here. Oh, there it is. There it is. Sorry. So this was actual pictures from the walk that we had, and we have actors portraying the people. It was our first annual doing it. We had over 70 people that came, even though it was foggy and it was cold and it was supposed to be sunny. All week long they said it was sunny, but we had a really great turnout. Everybody really enjoyed it. Greenwood Cemetery, it was a big hit with them, and we're definitely on for doing it next year, and we will be doing it next year. Our history theater is still doing very, very well. We have the 1943 USO show coming up on December 5th and 6th. That date is wrong on there. And the hardball was a great success that we just had. But I just want to say that I really appreciate all the support that I have gotten and we have gotten from the city. Every time that we've asked for some assistance, we've gotten it, and this is a great city. It really is, and the history of Superior is so rich. I had no idea when I took this job what a joy it was going to be to come to work every day, and it really is. It was definitely the job that I've been looking for, and I appreciate it. And I look for nothing but great things in the future for us.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
If there's no...
Before you jump out of your seats, just so you're aware, it looks like there's probably going to be a closed meeting at 5:30 on the 20th. Just so you can put it in your calendar.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. For the motion, second. All in favor? We stand adjourned. Thank you.